Ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about wills versus trust. There's a ton of differences in what they actually do, and most people are shocked, especially if you only have a will. Most people are shocked by some of the limitations that a will has. So we're going to dive into the pros, cons, differences today. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Dallin Hazel. I'm a financial planner who serves federal employees just like you, and I absolutely love it. So let's dive in. Again, we're talking about estate documents, okay? Estate documents. So there are two main types of estate plans per se, okay? There are those plans that have the core document being a will, and then there's those plans that have a trust be the core document, okay? So here is, at the end of the day, what a will does. A will is a document that says, hey, if I die, this is where I want my stuff to go. Okay, that's what a will does. However, a will has some limitations. A will has very limited control on when someone gets something. For example, if you die today, a will, generally speaking, doesn't have any ability to delay when someone gets it. So for example, if you have a 25-year-old kid and you don't want him to get everything that's coming to him right away, generally speaking, a will can't delay that. It can't say, hey, I want him to get half now, half in 10 years. You can't really do that with a will, okay? Now, so that's one of the biggest reasons some people might get a trust, is to have some control over when money is paid out. And there's other reasons as well. One of the biggest reasons is, of course, a home. Now, one thing to keep in mind when I'm talking about this is I'm not an attorney. I'm a financial planner, okay? So this is not a legal advice. I'm just talking you through what I've seen when it makes sense for clients to get certain documents over others. But again, I'm not an attorney, okay? Go talk to an attorney, right? But this will give you at least the general information on when different things might make sense for you, okay? So most people don't realize that if they have a will, just a will, and they have a house or real estate of any type, if they pass away, the vast majority of the time, that house has to go through probate, okay? Probate. A will does not avoid probate for large assets the vast majority of the time, okay? So if you have large assets, like a house, then it has to go through probate. Now, one thing to keep in mind is if an asset has a beneficiary on it, for example, your TSP, right? Your TSP, or if you have life insurance with a beneficiary on it, or there's some states where you can actually put a beneficiary deed on your home, right? Which basically, like for your TSP, if you pass away, the TSP account is going to go directly to whoever that beneficiary is, regardless of what your will says or trust says. Beneficiaries are actually the most important thing, okay? So I'll actually put that up here. Beneficiary, that's number one. So fill out your beneficiaries correctly, number one. Next, think about a will or trust when it comes to estate planning, okay? So beneficiaries first, and then this would be secondary, okay? So long story short, if your home is just in a will, you don't have a trust, and there's no beneficiary on your home, okay? You don't have a beneficiary deed, it has to go through probate. Long story short, probate means it have to go to court. It have to go in front of a judge, and they would disperse it based on the will's desires. And this process, the reason people don't like probate is because it can be costly, and can be time-consuming, and just be stressful to handle when it comes to your heirs or trying to deal with all this. So most people that are trying to avoid this, there's different ways to do it. Again, you can get a beneficiary deed in some states. Other people get a simple trust. They put the home in the trust, so the trust can handle it, and it doesn't have to go through probate, okay? So in my opinion, in my experience, those are some of the two most common times someone gets a trust, is if they want control to avoid probate on large assets that don't have a beneficiary, and if they want to have control over how and when assets are distributed. Like if you say, hey, I want it to go to my grandkids, but they could only spend it on college, you can't really do that in a will, at least the vast majority of the time. You got to have a trust that actually kind of lives beyond you and can actually do your wishes. If you just want your things to go directly to someone and right away, and you don't really care what they spend it on, a will would get that done, okay? So those are the core differences between a will and a trust, of course, and you need your beneficiaries first, right? On TSP, life insurance, any other things with a beneficiary, make sure those are updated. And these are the core things when it comes to making sure that all the things you've worked hard for go to the people that you want to, okay? Now, there's some other documents you might want for a good estate plan, for example, power of attorneys, okay? A document that allows someone to do financial decisions for you, make financial decisions for you if something was to happen to you. That's an incredibly important document. Medical directives, same things on the medical side, right? Having those is part of a great estate plan. If you go talk to any attorney, at least any good attorney, they're going to walk you through these basics. And you can also go to some online companies like LegalZoom.com or TrustandWill.com. They do good as well. So it's about finding whatever your goals are, where and how you want your money, finding the documents to make that happen so that all your hard work doesn't get wasted because things weren't updated and things go to the people you don't want them to go to. So that's the summary. If you want more help about your federal retirement, I've got tons of helpful things in the body of the email, so definitely check that out. And I'll see you guys in the next video.